Hello again, everybody. Thank you for using Multibot. In this video, we're going to talk about the fourth bot in the Multibot bar, Celebration Bot or Multibot Visual Effects. This is the most involved bot that we have. It's also the only bot that currently requires any additional work outside of Multibot to use. In this one, you're going to have to set up a new source in your capture software. It's been tested with both OBS and with Streamlabs, and in this video we'll show sample configuration for both of those. But again, like all of our bots, you're going to left click to turn it on, right click to get the settings. I'll show the settings first just so that we can talk through them because the left click has a little more explaining to do. It brings up your settings menu. There's tabs. There's two different interactive elements inside of this bot. Celebration allows you to set a price in bits for what will set off fireworks, and if your chat cheers that exact amount, fireworks will display on stream as a celebration, useful if one of your viewers is having a birthday and people want to wish them a happy birthday, or if it becomes a thing on your chat when you beat a game, people can cheer and fireworks go off. However, you're going to integrate it. But Celebration Bot does fireworks. There are a few Easter eggs in there if you're streaming on a holiday type of thing, where it adds a little bit of flair for the holidays. The second bot, part of this bot that's in here, is a game called COINKS. COINKS is a lot of fun. It is based off of one of those games you'd find at the old arcade where you'll throw your coin in and there's a conveyor belt that's running and you try and get the coin to land on the moving conveyor belt to get the points for that conveyor belt. You can set the price using plus minus or just typing in however many bits you want it to be. The game keeps track of a high score. When players cheer this amount and get a game, they get 5 coins, and they fire the coins with exclamation coin. There are squares that give them extra coins. There are squares that give them points. There are squares that take away negative points. There are squares that multiply their score by 2, and so it can become a kind of fun game for chat to see who can get the high score. When no one's playing, you can use these buttons to bring up the daily top 3 or the all-time top 3, the current configuration. These are top games, so the same player can show up multiple times on there. If the player, just like in the arcade, if the player has the top 2 games played of all time, they'll be on there twice. There is a volume slider to control the volume for the game. Well, this one suggests that it be somewhere around 30. The audio that's used for the game is quite loud for most streamers. And then finally here at the end, if you want to give somebody a free game, you can type their username and hit free, and it will give them a free game. Useful if your stream glitches out and they feel cheated that they didn't get to play the game that they paid for, or you can make this a channel redemption. Whatever you're going to do, this gives you, kind of as the arcade owner, the ability to give out free games. So that will move to turning it on. When you turn on the Celebration Bot, the Multibot Visual Effects bot, it is going to open a second window, a Unity window, and that's where all of these items exist. Depending on your setup, multi-monitor, widescreen, all of those things, it may open up in a weird aspect ratio, it may open up in the wrong place, all that, it'll auto minimize. But what's really important is that you make sure that it gets maximized to the size of the canvas on your Capture Studio. So for most people that's going to be 1080p. So make sure it becomes 1080p, and then you can minimize it, and we'll go through the configuration. So I'll left click, it opens it up. It opened it up on my secondary monitor. You can see it opened up there, and I'm gonna bring it over so you can see. So in this case, it opened up on my wide wide monitor, so it's not the proper size. But on my secondary monitor, I'm just going to make it full screen and minimize it. Now, so I can take a look at it, I'm going to bring up, I'm recording this in OBS, so I'm going to show this first in what it looks like in Streamlabs, and then we can, I'll splice in a setup for those of you that are using OBS so you can kind of see what it looks like. So in any scene you want to use this in, you will need a game capture window. So source, use game capture, don't use window capture, don't use use game capture, and call it whatever you want. I've called mine celebration. I can see the windows here. In mode, you want to capture a specific window, and the window is called Multibot widgets. Multibot widgets is the name of that Unity window that came up. The other important bit that you need to do is allow transparency. By doing that, you can put this source towards the top of your list and people will be able to see through it. So if you look in my scene, it's basically the top thing on there. It is a window that covers almost the whole canvas here. And now if I wanted to test fire a celebration, you'll see the fireworks that go off. Here in COINKS, if I bring up, I'll hit this button for the all-time high score, it brings up the all-time high score top players. If you type in here, show a sample of what the game looks like. If I give a free game, pops up a conveyor belt at the bottom. You can see the little arrow at the middle where the coin will be fired. Jadosh could type exclamation coin to fire these coins to get, if the coin lands towards the middle of those squares, the coin will get whatever these values are. Mystery value, you're not sure, 25 points, negative points, there's score multipliers, there's coin fever that just starts firing. You get 10 free random coins that just automatically fire. They string together. It's a lot of fun. The chat has to use exclamation coin to fire it. Because of Twitch's kind of anti-spamming policy, they might have to do exclamation coin space 1, exclamation coin space 2, exclamation coin space 3 to get around not sending the same message repeatedly. Additionally, in case somebody goes AFK, they disappear, this game doesn't run forever. They have up to 20 seconds to fire the coin before it'll automatically fire for them. So if they aren't interacting, the coin will auto fire if they take too long. And the amount of time that they have to fire the coin is dependent on how many coins they have left. The more coins they have in the bank, so if they got the power-ups that give them more coins, they will have less time to fire their coins. But as they get down less, it expands the amount of time that they have to fire. And then when it's over, it does game over and it disappears. If your chat cheers, so right now it's got, my COINKS price is 25 bids. If somebody cheers 25 while a game is active, it will just put them in line, and when the current game ends, the next person in line their game will automatically begin. So it just put their quarter on the machine and they're waiting for it in that metaphor. All right, and for the configuration of how to capture in OBS, if you got your scene, you're going to add the new source. It's going to have to be a game capture. Call it whatever you want. Celebration is a good name. Multibot celebration, whatever will make sense to you. You are going to capture a specific window, and you're going to look for Multibot widgets. You're going to allow transparency, and then make sure it is at the top of your scene, however you want to do it, but it needs to be on top. And then whatever's happening happens over the top of your overlay. Thank you for using Multibot.